Hey everyone, it's Jay-Z. I'm laughing at myself that I'm actually trying to film this today. And I'll admit, like, no makeup, like I had my daughter's wedding last night. And it's funny because I'm like, well, you know, you're on there to talk about binge eating. Why are you talking? But see, I kind of see you guys as friends. So many of you comment and you're so awesome. And I'm just so attached to you all. And so I feel like I need to tell you, we had an amazing wedding last night and it was so fun and so full of joy and a big dance party. And I am hammered today. But I've been thinking about this video for weeks and I've wanted to find time to do it. Obviously, wedding, couldn't. But I have time right now without even, like, the Lord was like, quit worrying about being camera ready and turn it on and talk. You are my friends. I love you. Thank you for your support and love in all your comments. It means the world to me. This is the third in our series, and I think we'll be done with the series after this. But I've talked about mindless eating. I've talked about comfort eating. I just wanted to make binge eating kind of the last one. I don't know what we'll do after this, but the reason why I wanted to do one is not because we're going to answer everything in this video, but I want to provide some resources, especially if you're new to my channel, some videos that may have gotten a little lost down through my playlists that I want to offer as resources. If you have a background with binge eating, you know, this one goes deep. What is happening? Excuse me. Again, I'm going to blame everything on a late night last night. So if I don't make any sense, that's why. Binge eating is tough. It's tough to overcome. It's like got a lot of guilt and shame attached to it. Those moments are just horrific. It's complicated. So I'm not going to pretend I can pop in a little video today and go, let me tell you about how the Lord healed my binge eating. 1, 2, 3, boom. No. That's why I want to provide other resources you can go to if you want to go deeper into this. But I do want to say something very specific. Again, if you haven't watched any of my other videos, especially. If you are taking a faith-based approach to begin to tackle this monster, this Goliath in your life. Yes, we've talked a lot in other videos, if you've watched, about how binge eating is often trying to find comfort in something other or satisfaction or filling or whatever in food instead of Christ, and how part of the healing is learning to turn to Him for that. But I wanted to say really loud and clear, part of healing binge eating, in fact, the first thing the Lord did with me was helping me address the physical component of it, the biological component. And that's why I wanted to give you a video to go watch if you've missed it. We've got to put on the table first and foremost, when you are looking at why you binge and how to get past it and how to really move to a place of healing, we've got to understand that processed food, which is what we binge on, you don't binge on broccoli. You don't binge on apples, do you? I didn't. We know what we binge on. Processed food, sugar, carbs, processed chips, all that stuff is engineered specifically by the food companies to be addictive. So the Lord had to have me understand that up front. Like JC up front, you feel all this guilt and shame over your binges. You've got to understand some of this is not your fault because the food you are turning to is designed to trigger your body and make you binge. So I want you, if that appeals, something you want to learn more about, I have a video below that I will link, processed food being addictive. Go look for that link in the description. I think it's important that we understand that. And also that He didn't just say, listen, this is addictive. This is why this is so tough for you. Processed food is designed to be that way. The other part was Him saying, if you want to get past the really bad binge eating, you've got to set a boundary with this type of food. It's not dieting. It's not restriction. It's boundaries that will keep your body safe. The food it's like tobacco. And this is the crazy part. It's the tobacco companies that then went to the food companies and used their same addiction model. And I'll talk about that in that video. It's like cigarettes. Like I don't really want to be addicted to cigarettes. Please forgive me if that's your struggle. It's hard, but I set a clear boundary there. I don't want to jeopardize my health that way. So there's just a boundary. I just don't go there. And he kind of helped me understand processed food and sugar, especially for my body, is so addictive. I had to set a boundary. So I'm also going to put a video on food boundaries. Can you see how some of these layers take a little more explanation, and in just going, here's the quick fix, that's not a thing. I had to understand why the food was addictive. I had to understand what food boundaries look like as compared to dieting. It isn't dieting. It isn't restriction. But what faith-based boundaries could look like. So I'll link those videos below. And then, yes, I'm going to link one more video that goes deep into the Lord's role in helping us overcome our binging and how he heals that. And I make an argument in my out of control eating video. If you haven't watched that, I make an argument that this is a spiritual issue in addition to the physical addiction. There's spiritual stuff going on in the binge, and you may not have never thought about that before. You're like, just like the taste, and I just can't stop. That's all there is to it. I would make the argument, as I've been coming out of this for 20 years, I don't binge like I used to. I don't eat half the pan of brownies. I don't eat a whole batch of cookie dough so much that I'm sick. That was my past. And the Lord healed that in me. Yes, he taught me about the addiction of my body, but he also began to teach me the spiritual implications of my flesh and how he was the answer to restraining the flesh. And I was trying to use willpower to overcome a binge. Those of you that have been stuck in binge eating, you know willpower does nothing. You can make yourself a million promises and it just doesn't matter. And so the Lord took me into the scriptures and said, listen, restraining the flesh is through my grace and my power. I am the one that helps you overcome the flesh. And that is what we're applying to this instance. I mean, we often see that in other addictive tendencies, like maybe sexual tendencies or our appetite for food. We need his grace just as much. So that's the trifecta today. If you are still struggling with binge eating, I'm gonna include those 3 videos. I'll just label them 1, 2, 3. The processed food is addictive video. The now I'm going blank. See, I told you the brain didn't make it. I was up too late. The processed food video, the boundaries video on how to set boundaries in a faith-based way and in a way that keeps us stable and healed and safe. And then the third one is what to do with out of control eating, and that one, despite the title, that is the one that really talks about the spiritual piece of this and how if we don't have that in place, I really don't believe healing of binge eating can be complete. I will also add a link to my sugar addiction course, online course. If you want to go even deeper, you can look at the main page for that. That will teach a little more about the actual addiction in the body, if that's something that applies to you. But I just really wanted to offer some resources and stand here with a testimony as part of this series that the Lord still is working on me with some comfort eating, some mindless eating at times, but binge eating, for the most part, he has healed fully. But it's through a very specific set of layers that we had to heal each layer. It wasn't just, I'll give you the grace and you'll stop. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might link one more video for those that really want a lot. I'm thinking of one more that would really help that has some info on this. So maybe if you see a whole list, that means I got off of this camera and I thought, oh, that one's good too. And I'll explain it in the description. So if you need more help and you really want to dive in and you are ready, and I'm here as a witness to say he can heal it. You don't have to do this. You don't have to live this way. He can heal it. But it's going to take some time and some faith and some trust. But let me walk you through it with some of these videos. I hope those resources help. I love you. I think I'll go take a nap. Have a great day, guys.